another thing is that our over 4 million lenses has been created by our users, and over the past year, Snapchatters interacted with those lenses for more than 4.5 trillion times. That's the scale of Snap AR. So where do we go from here, right? At Snap, we believe in the world where spatial computing is overlaid into the world around us. And in 2016, we released camera glasses. You could record the videos and share them with your friends. Then in 2019, we introduced depth, and for the first time, glasses could record in 3D. And then in 2021, we released our waveguides and display. So for the first time, you could run a full 3D lenses, real time, right in front of your eyes. And later in 2024, we released our fifth generation of spectacles, powered by Snap OS. This is an operating system for spatial computing and AR experiences. And this is a developer kit, so you can apply to Spectacles Developer Program and get a pair of those and start building and creating AR experiences today. But let's talk a little bit more about those. They are untethered, standalone, with 6-depth tracking, with field of view 3 times more than Generation 4. They equipped with a suite of advanced sensors and processors. We have 4 cameras, 2 RGB and 2 infrared, that allow us to understand the world around us and also unlock the natural hand input. Each side has a Qualcomm Snapdragon processor, so the computing, rendering, and audio all happens at the device. But device is only a part of the story. So we believe that Specs is a perfect mix of AI and AR, with advanced machine learning that helps us to understand the environment around you, and we also allow the hand interaction that allow you to interact with any digital content. And it's also, we support a multiplayer and experiences. And it's also a flexible and powerful workstation that helps you so you can basically browse, you can stream, you can do a lot of different things. And speaking of browser, we have our own AR browser that is optimized for AR. We support, it's actually supporting WebXR, so building using the web technologies is very easy, and that helps our developers and creators to iterate, prototype, and distribute their experiences way faster. Another thing is collocation. That actually proves that AR experiences are not just solo utilities, it's actually made for collaboration. So collocation allows us to interact with the same digital objects in the same space, and it's very easy to connect with other devices with technology called iConnect. You just simply look at other person who wears spectacles, and it takes a couple of seconds to start sharing the experiences. And this is very helpful for the multiplayer games and also collaborative storytelling. We also have fleet management, so you can control any amount of device simultaneously. And that's just something really helpful for exhibitions and different galleries where you can set, control, update, and start any experience remotely. And that actually opens up a lot of possibilities for AR exhibitions at scale. A lot of people, more and more people want to use AR on the go. However, the most AR system tracking and anchor the content in the real world, and that means that when you move really fast in train, in plane, in the car, it breaks. But we introduced something called travel mode, so now the content actually anchors inside of the vehicle, and that can be really helpful if you want to use, for example, multiple screens. When I travel a lot, I do sketches on my iPad, and it's really like not that much space to put any Pinterest or other references that I usually use, and that's actually really helpful for those type of use cases. And this year, specs are going public. They're going to be lighter, smaller, but completely standalone and same full feature. We talk about hardware, we talk about software, but there's something else that we need to build all the experiences. We need an engine, and our engine called Lens Studio. It supports full AR, AI, and it has a machine learning stack built in. And we provide a lot of templates, asset library, we support TypeScript and VS Code, and what is really important, it's free. And I think it's easy to start working with this. I grew up on the tools like Maya, ZBrush, and Blender. It's extremely capable tools, but I was teaching 3D, and I know how sometimes it can be hard for people to start. So I think that's the Lens Studio is very user-friendly. There's a couple of examples I just want to show on that left side. It just takes a couple of seconds to push the prototype from Lens Studio to device. And we have something called Spectacles Interaction Kit that actually does all the job and math under the hood. So all the interactions and all the paradigms is already solved. You just can download that and use for any prototype that you're building. And on the other side, it's just how many different templates and sample projects we have. We provide tutorials and projects for how to set up the cloud, how to build a multiplayer, how to use the navigation, how to connect AI agent, and all of those questions. We probably have a project for that. But there is more. On top of that, we introduced something called MCP, which stands for Model Context Protocol, and basically, in simple words, it's something that connects the Lens Studio and the AI of your choice. Could be Cursor, Cloud, whatever, and they truly collaborate, and you can create a lens with just a simple prompt. It can create the assets, it can create the interaction, animation, basically anything you need for the prototyping. And here's a little example I have here. I used one of the characters I made before, and I was really lazy on making the animation, and I'm not really a huge time animator, so I asked Gemini to make me a little video, and then I used that video and fed that to my Cursor agent, and from there asked to use the skeleton that I already had of that character to actually make that animation for me. And it didn't work from the first try, but yeah, after a couple of iterations, I actually started to make something more or less looks like a high animation. So it's not the same how it was on the video, but my point here is that it's a good start for prototyping, and it takes less time than do that manually, but definitely not production ready. So AI helps, AI speed things up. It removes the friction, especially when you work across different media, like the animation, 3D interaction. But what is important here, that it's always the artist who gives the work its meaning, its emotion behind it, and its content, and also intention. So all those tools, they actually expand the expression, but not replacing that. And when we combine the spatial computing with the creative tools and AI, I think that's the moment when that frame actually starts to disappear, and the art is actually living around us. We can interact with this, and it can be shared with other people. And for over the last year, more than 100 lenses were published for spectacles, and there are so many more in making, and I'll I'll show you a couple of examples. So Augie award-winning lens called Pencil. It teaches you how to draw, and what is really cool about this that I actually use my real tools and drawing on a real pencil. Thanks to the see-through display, I can see what I'm drawing and what I'm learning real time. It's really fun. One of my favorite ones. You can learn about the constellation and some interesting facts about this using the star map. We also, this one is interesting because we combine the body tracking from the phone with AI, and that all together real time gives you feedback on your yoga flow. Translation is, again, one of my favorite too, because it actually automatically understands the difference between the wearer and the other people and switches between 40 different languages. And I think that's like a new way how, I mean, for me, it's a big deal when I travel a lot, and instead of looking at my phone and translate, I think that unlocks a new freedom of exploring, and I think it's really cool. Another example is a cookmate. You can simply make a photo of ingredients that you have, and AI will propose you the recipes based on what you have, and also will provide some utilities like timers and some step-by-step guidance, so you can cook anything from anything you have. Another cool example is a very popular on Quest written game. They are actually available on Spectacles too, but now you can play it overlaid with the real world. Another cool, I think it's like, again, I'm saying one of my favorites, but this one also is one of my favorites because it actually allows you to create amazing, stunning AR sculptures, and it has so many tools and brushes, how you can just basically 30 seconds, that's how much it takes to build AR sculptures. And Project Jade also is very interesting in that update and a little character can understand the world and also help you with some AI suggestions and be a tour guide on different events. So every new medium begins as a technology. Photography did, film did, and we are at the beginning on a new era where the AR and AI can be a new technology. And the question is, if the world is the canvas, what would you create? Thank you.